This story is brought to you by the State Bank of Cold Spring, proudly serving the ROCORI area for over 100 years. The State Bank of Cold Spring, your friendly bank with the time and temp at the corner of Red River and Main.
At the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad
On May 16, 2009, thousands of people came to Cold Spring to be part of the second annual Old Glory Run. Although temperatures hovered around 40 degrees and the wind chill dipped to a blustery 35, spirits were high at the Cold Spring Ballpark. After the Old Glory Run concluded, participants, community members, elected officials, and special dignitaries were on hand as all three cities that make up the land of ROCORI were given the special designation of a Yellow Ribbon Community. Here to tell us a bit more about what it means to be a Yellow Ribbon Community is Cold Spring City Administrator Larry Lahr and Sergeant First Class Melanie Nelson, a Public Affairs Officer for Deployment Cycle Support Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. Please enjoy the sights and sound from this event, and be sure to tune in to Digilog ROCORI for part 2 of this story later on this week.
Event, Cold Spring was working on what is known as a Yellow Ribbon Community designation, and it's an effort that's been pursued by a number of Central Minnesota communities in the St. Cloud area, and Cold Spring is part of that process. And I think in a great teaming up effort, what we're doing is apparently the proclamations for those communities pursuing that designation will be held as part of the Old Glory Run festivities.
My name is Sergeant First Class Melanie Nelson, and I'm Public Affairs Officer for Deployment Cycle Supports Beyond the Yellow Ribbon. And it's our department that is in charge of all the Yellow Ribbon cities and counties and corporations. And as I understand it, here today there's 9 communities that have gathered together to pledge their support to the Army National Guard and wanting to become Yellow Ribbon, Minnesota's first Yellow Ribbon region is what they're calling themselves. So we're here in support of them, and everyone is here in support of military service members in these communities.
In order to become a Yellow Ribbon designated community, really what it means in general, there is kind of some specific suggestions and some specific requirements, you might say, but really it's a matter of the community leaders being more open-minded and more welcoming to our returning veterans, and taking it a bit further even in terms of trying to do its part in order to make sure that there's a smooth transition back to civilianship for those veterans.
About 3 years ago, spring of 2006, it became evident to people in the Minnesota Army National Guard that we really had to step out of the box and do something different for our service members who were deploying and coming back into our communities. And so Minnesota started a movement that has since gone across the nation to really get into communities in our states and develop these Yellow Ribbon communities to let communities know who their service members are, when they're going to go, how long they're going to be gone, when they're going to get back. Because here in Minnesota there is no base. We can't go to Fort Bragg, or we can't go to a fort and get all the services that we may need, or our family members may need while we're gone on deployment. And so this whole Yellow Ribbon initiative is getting the communities to work together to support families while the service member is gone, and when the service member returns, to support him or her in their reintegration back into the community. It's a hard thing to do, and we've seen time and time again, communities want to do something. The phone rings all the time. The Girl Scouts want to send cookies. The churches want to mow lawns for families. People want to do something, and becoming a Yellow Ribbon community is a way to really synchronize efforts to support a stronger community.
So if I am a citizen of this community, a participating community, what would you recommend in the sense of if I want to get involved, what steps should I take?
Well, right now, these 9 cities right here in this region around Cold Spring are taking the first steps to become Yellow Ribbon communities. There's actually a series of action plans they're going to have to pledge and to really investigate and find commitment to, and once they get their action plans down, they will be coined Yellow Ribbon City, even given a sign for their highways as you enter the town. But if you're a citizen, you can be part of this team, this network that has to be built to develop these action plans, or you can just do your own small part too through your church or helping neighbors. There is a website, theyellowribbon.org. That is home for all of our wellness programs for military members and their families, homes to our Yellow Ribbon Network, and there's also ideas there on how you can support service members.